What is up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat. We're here at the Nerd Castle today taking another look at Mountain Blade Warband. In the previous episode, we had taken Kura, at least we had started, and then they hit us with a major morale problem. We had hit a little speed bump. I don't know if speed bumps work against horses, but I know for a fact that if you draw a bunch of lines on the ground, it will scare the hell out of a cow. But in any case, we hit a speed bump, lost a bunch of morale, so in between episodes, I ran around and killed a bunch of bandits so that we didn't have to do that 2 episodes in a row. They tried to re-siege Kura, but then the king showed up, so everything's okay. In today's episode, what I'd like to do is, we took a lot of losses in that last siege. Our last battle was not so beneficial to us. We had ended up losing quite a few of our main men, and unfortunately, if you're my main man, I gotta keep you near the front lines, and that does predispose you to deathly instances, I suppose. Ooh, mercenary swordsman. Hey, what's up, pal? Yeah, you wanna join me? You can join on up, we have beer. All right. So he's now joined our party. We need to sell off all of the bandit loot I've been picking up over the last couple days, and we're gonna trade it for a bit more food. So let's sell all of that off. I never cease to be amazed how many people in this game will pay you, like, you can trade, implements of doom, I guess, is the way that I would put it. You can put instruments of demise, and they'll just be like, oh yeah, I'll trade you 2 spears for a cabbage. That's one of those trades that I don't actually think happened very often in medieval times. Like, how often would somebody be like, I'll trade you 2 spears for a cheese? That's just a really, really weird transaction. It's like going to a 7-Eleven and trying to buy tube socks. It's just a weird thing. I'm gonna buy a couple more. Oh, we've got enough grains, so no, nothing here is gonna be super nice for us. We may have to go somewhere else. We also checked the tavern. The reason I went there is because we've got a lot of prisoners around with us, and we need to go handle that situation like right now. If you look, the Kingdom of Nords is fully back. We are definitely back in business. We are back in blue, to be distinguished from back in black, because I don't want to get sued. If AC/DC sued me, I might have to cry myself to sleep every night, because AC/DC, I love you guys. Why would you do that to me? I mean, I'm just a huge fan, and that's why I reference you. Luckily, referencing things cannot get you sued, so that's all fine and dandly. Fine and doodly dandy. Let's hire some more mercenaries. I love hired blades, and once I have the money to hire them, you will notice that I instantly start gravitating towards taverns every single time I need new troops. It's just faster anyways, because they start second to highest tier, which is always good. I think I'm gonna pick up a few more dudes from Quinn. And what I should do, I should really think about making my way all the way back down to Rhodoks and grabbing a few more Rhodok peasants and maybe trading them for manhunters or something, because some sharpshooters I think would be beneficial. Looks like we got Boyar Uquace up there running from everybody. He is about to get a train rolled on him. He's gonna have to wear a different underwear size after that whole thing gets done. Yikes, glad I'm not him right now. It appears as though, at the bare minimum, the elastic's gonna be very, very worn out. I hate that. I have a bunch of underwear right now. Like, I don't know if this is like a dude thing or what this is, but I've got like 600 pairs of underwear at my house that just have the elastic bands worn out of them, and I could walk them like 4 feet. It's 10 feet from where they are to the trash can, and I just never do. It's been probably a decade since I got some of that underwear, and it's still just sitting there, worn out elastic bands, just looking all nappy in the corner. I don't know. Oh, Nizar's talking. Please tell me more. That's very interesting. Alright, let's go to Pagunder. And I think that's what I'm going to do, since the Nords have really, really terrible ranged units. I don't think I'm going to concern myself. Oh, that's where they're all going. There are all the guys that we have kicked the pants out of lately. And believe me, we've got a lot of pants. When you kick the pants out of somebody, they become lootable. They fall onto the ground, and at which point you can wear them upon your head or any other vestigial area of your body. I mean, if you can get them around the central area of your body, if you can get pants around your chest, more power to you, pal. I can't pull it off, though. I don't even know where to begin in that situation. Let's upgrade our recruits. There they go, Rhodok tribesmen. Obviously, you guys are all going to be crossbowmen. Turn all of them into slave drivers, because I've noticed the manhunter upgrades tend to be pretty decent in a fight. I mean, they're not amazing, but they are decent, especially if you can manage to get them up to slaver chieftain. If you can get them up to slaver chieftain, they become pretty much, I've looked at the stats, and they're more or less identical to Swadian knights. And since you get them for, 8 Huskarls, when did this occur? Oh my. Oh my. Okay, we'll put that over there. I don't know if I can get sued for doing that either. Like, for example, the guy that made up Let's Get Ready to Rumble, he can sue you if you say, Let's Get Ready to Rumble. So if by some chance he sees my video right now and I say, Let's Get Ready to Rumble before we Let's Get Ready to Rumble, if I do that right there, but I do it without stammering, I think he can sue me. However, I don't know, George Takei seems like a nice guy. I'm gonna really, really deep down hope that impersonations are covered by parody or something. Let's see here. We've got Baheshtur. What do you do for me, Baheshtur? He's like, well, I hold the ceremonial loincloth while you go down to the creek to bathe. Like, that's a pretty important job. I don't know what I'd do without that. I mean, I think I could probably find like a coat rack or something to do that job already. He does pathfinding and spotting. Alrighty then, let's go back to Beheshter, and with his pathfinding and spotting abilities, yeah, pathfinding 8, we're going to be booking around the planet in this case. Let's continue upgrading his one-handed weapons, because why not? Because reasons, that's why. And then with Nizar, I think Nizar I was just building to be a badass cavalryman, so let's continue down that line. I've got to get him up to agility 12 though at the bare minimum, before he's even going to be passable as a cavalryman. And I may give all of my named guys blunt weapons. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, it might be a good idea to give all of my cavalrymen that I can equip manually, give them all like maces or two-handed clubs or something so that they can knock enemies out in the instance that I don't have the units that, oh yeah, you don't want none of this, Tanju. I mean, you could try. He tried to roll out super hard, but then when we came to the block, he was like, never mind, you can have the corner. I don't care anymore. Kingdom of Vaegirs. God, Vaegirs is declaring peace with everybody. That's because they are getting rolled out on super hard. They are looking like fools right now. Looking like some chumps. Everybody on the map is just giving them what for. I bet they've got a lot of lords that are dropping off pretty soon too. We took a lot of their land in that last campaign. We took both Sargoth and Kura, which altogether is probably like 6 fiefs and 2 major cities, so there's probably some lords out there right now that are definitely crying themselves to sleep on their massive silk pillows. Their massive sink pillows. Yeah, you know, nobles, they like to sleep on sinks. I've noticed my cats like to do that, so maybe it's because cats inherently know that they are nobility. Have you ever noticed that? Your cat loves to sleep in the sink. I think it's because it's cool, and it's made out of porcelain in the summer. That's my guess, but my guess is as good as anybody else's. I could be just making shit up. You never know. I suppose, let's go help out with any battle that transpires over here. You can fight him, too. Let's go beat up Freichen. Freichen. I will fight you. A speed of 5.3, we should eventually... No, I hit the space bar. I hate it how you can actually outrun the screen. It's a very bad situation to be in. I bet I could beat up all these guys. Let's beat them up. I'm gonna spend the entire episode just chasing people because they're all like right there on the edge of how fast I can move. 104 versus a 45. But what this guy is he's basically a harbinger of the news that they have replenished all of their troops at this point, which is not good. That means we could be out for kind of a second wave in this campaign. I mean, obviously, they're not going to be very well equipped, so as far as that goes, it's not something to tremble over. I mean, I'm not going to turn into a ridiculous medieval Quaker. But at the same time, it is something to pay attention to because we could be going up against stiff competition pretty soon, and I prefer my competition flaccid. If I had to choose the overall firmness, I would prefer as though they had just seen Rosie O'Donnell, or something along those lines. That's mean. People should leave Rosie alone. She's getting to be like a million years old at this point. Whatever. I don't even know if she's relevant anymore. In fact, I don't think she is. I feel a little bit weird pulling that reference out. Like, every now and again, when you're a fan of references, you have to, like, evaluate in your head and be like, well, is that worth it? I don't know if that reference is really worth the effort. Like, I can't decide if it's been converted from like a joke that was funny in the 90s to being like a 1%er now in the 2010sies. That's what I call 2010 and after. It's 2010sies. Because I feel like all dates should end in E's. Not E's as in like the letter E, but E's as in the IES. Because it makes me happy. 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and so forth. And now we know how to count by tens. Yay! That guy's going to escape. But yeah, Lazala getting himself a level up right there. This guy is still trying to spear me in the face of adversity. And things are about to get pretty adverse for him. I don't think things can get more adverse than someone trying to kill you all the time. That battle's now done. If we have the chance to capture him, I'm gonna start turning lords loose. He escaped though, so not a big deal. He's just got a bunch of recruits and skirmishers. Nothing here that's worth capturing. Oh, that's what I was doing. I forgot. I'm trying to get rid of all these units. Way too many guys hanging out in the back of my caravan in chains. So let's see if we can get ourselves alleviated of their mass, because they're getting kind of massive. We have extra food. We've been feeding them too much. They're definitely getting a little husky. When we send them back to their lord, I feel like he's going to be grumpy with me. What are you looking at? I'm not sure. Some sort of animal, clearly. I'll wipe that smirk right off your face. That's how the conversation transpired in my head. Where is this guy? Oh, he's over in the corner. He's like sneak attack. He's trying some ninja stuff. Hey. Hey. What are you doing, man? No Hokage stuff up in here. That's ridiculous. Better him than me because I'm a badass. Mad Dog McGriddle doesn't care. She's taken so many lives that at this point, it's just icing on the cake. In fact, let's look and see how many people Mad Dog McGriddle has violently murdered. We can do that through, I believe, the character menu, and then you click off over here. No, that's not it. You click here. Nope, that's not it. Statistics, that's where you click. We've killed, oh my god, that was way higher than expected. 1,617 men have been killed. She is quite the man-eater. She would be terrifying. I mean, if she asked me out on a date, I'd be like, what'll happen if I say no? And I'm willing to bet that her comeback would probably be something very, very violent and horrific. A wandering Ashik, a mercenary swordsman. I can't lead any more men right now. There are just too many, and they are draining my patience. Well, I guess since there's no slave vendor around here, we'll go back up to tier. And we'll try and keep an eye on some of our new territories because they haven't had the time right now to replenish themselves with regards to their elite troops. I'm trying to make a little bit of money to offset my costs. I mean, we're not in the black at the moment. We are in the black at the moment. We're not in the red, is what I meant to say. We're making a lot of money right now, so I'm not really concerned about our financial gains. Things are looking pretty good for us as a company at the moment. Grab some extra cheeses and some dried meat just to make life a bit easier. 473 there. Let's see if we can make the cost up by selling off some of these guys. There's a wandering minstrel, a caravan guard, Katrine. Nope, I need to send some more people out to get me some more right to rule. That's what I need to do. I need to send them out on peon duty, just run around shouting on the corners, Mad Dog McGriddle! I feel that's how they shout. They just go to random cities and they just shout my name on the corners. There's a tournament here, and we haven't done one in a while, so we're going to do one. 3 teams of 7 right now. Let's go ahead and fall back and clump on up. Because I always feel better about my chances of winning so long as I'm clumped. Like a fine kitty litter. And there are some expensive kitty litters. If you own a cat, you'll notice that there are all these weird ancillary like cat products that people try and get you to buy, but none of them really appear to be that useful. I don't have any real examples for you right now. I know. There was one that was appetizers for your cat. It's like a short appetizer to go before their kitty entree. And I feel like if you're serving your cat multiple courses, and then you go to eat yourself like, I don't know, some Simon or maybe a cup of noodles or something, you may want to back off on that kind of, oh, what's going on over here? Is a guy? Never mind. I don't know. Do whatever you want for your cat. Kitties deserve to be pampered, I suppose. Please don't shoot me with an arrow. How they invented a non-lethal arrow, I'm not quite sure. An arrow seems like it would be fairly lethal whether you fired it in a tournament or not. But for the cases of the game and something, I don't know, for immersion's sake, I suppose they've come up with magical arrows that only knock you unconscious. Maybe they're blunted. They just hit and really, really hurt. Oh, good. Well, we are up against the wall over here. My archers are about to get aced, though, unfortunately. Oh, good, and we've been run into from behind. While normally this would make for an interesting date, at the moment, it's actually a little bit of an encumbrance. Like a backpack full of lead. A backpack full of leaden little folk. Let's go ahead and murder him. Ow! Please don't break. This is my favorite shield, so if you break it, I'm going to be super upset with you. Hopefully we don't get eliminated, because we wiped out a lot of people right there. Yeah, I was going to say. If you go like 8 versus... Oh, we got the bow. That's really bad. And that means you gotta shoot at people's feet, which can be kind of a daunting challenge if you don't know what you're doing there. Ooh. I mean, I could get in here and just kind of hit people with a knife, but it's risky because I can't block with a knife. I'm gonna cut these guys loose now. And he just shot that guy in the ass. You know the tournament has gone poorly when you have a large hole in your ass. I mean, we all have a hole in our ass, but if you've got extra holes, I suppose. It's like checking for ticks. After a tournament, you gotta check for an extra hole. Disgusting. Never mind, let's move forward. Hopefully I don't get the bow again, God. I wasn't expecting that as a possible contingency. I would take anything over the bow. Simply because the knife they give you if the enemy manages to run your blockade is just terrible. You can't block with it, you can't do anything with it. Let's hope that archer is terrible at his job. Oh no, he's got a friend too. Okay, so we need to stay on her. And if we can stay on her like cold on snow, which we already did, I'm talking in the past now. We're doing a little bit of the old monologuing time travel here. we should be able to knock this guy out. There we go. Count Garmal got the bow. Sucks to be you, man. I feel your pain. I definitely feel your pain, but, you know, if you get stuck with the bow, that's a rough day in tournament land. A land where there are many tournaments. Yeah, I felt like he was going to swing at me really fast, so I backed off. I chickened out. Don't judge me. Oh, I just got hit by a guy. Oh, no, I got hit by a girl. Either way, I got hit. I don't think it makes the situation any better depending on the gender of who it came from. Genitalia, I don't think, affect that. Either way, it's oh, no. So now, I need to really hope. No! God. That was lame. I just lost a lot of money doing something that one can only describe as deep sighs, deep sighs to keep me from punching through my monitor. Getting the bow is one of those little things that if you've ever played Mount and Blade, getting the bow, if you go to any forum and you research on the forums, go to the forums and do tournament plus bow in the search bar, and the amount of the cacophony of misery that you will hear will be deafening. If you get the bow in the last round, it is deeply upsetting to any Mount and Blade player, and I was trying to do the only strategy you have on your side right there, and if you don't know what it is, if you get the bow in the last round and your enemy gets a shield and a weapon, your only strategy is to try and shoot them in the feet enough time before they get to you that you kill them. I hit him 2 or 3 times. He was at like 55 damage. I know that for sure. 35 to 55 damage because the knife can't block, which is weird because in medieval times there was a specific thing called a parrying blade, which was just a big knife. And my knife looked pretty large in that case. I don't want to overestimate the length of my knife, but I felt like I was having a pretty good time when it came to the size of my knife, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll walk away from that situation 800 or 900 dinars poorer. We made the money back selling off all those captives anyways. Let's have a look around and see if we can find any Vagirs to fight with. I am still a little bit intrigued that they haven't sued for peace just yet, because frankly, they have just been getting their asses kicked in this campaign, and plus I want my right to rule. Which reminds me, who have I sent out? Lazalet? No, Beheshter has to stay. Let's send out Fartimener, and while I don't think he's going to, kind of with his general hygiene tendencies, he's not going to inspire anybody to our side, we can try. Okay, so we'll send Artimener off for now, and he's going to give us some more right to rule. Tundra bandits around here, a lot of Tundra bandits, but no Vagirs. It's hard to tell the difference sometimes. My village of Ambien is being attacked. Let's go back and see if we can. I don't think we're going to make it. It's pretty far. If he has any sort of reasonable raiding speed, he's going to get it done, but maybe we'll get some revenge. Oh, it's Clargus. Well, we're about to murder you, Clargus, so have your jollies off right now. Enjoy your turnip pillaging, because this is going to turn around on you very, very rapidly. In fact, this is going to hurt like hell. I'm not going to let you go this time either, because you raided my land. That means you are going to die a fiery death. I don't even have any fire on me. If I had some fire, I would make your death fiery, but in the case of my lack of fire, I guess your death will be stabbity. There we are. Some more crossbowmen. Another hired blade. Slave crushers, slave drivers. Let's get ourselves into this battle, and hopefully, it depends on the length of this battle. Not necessarily, but hopefully if we get through this battle, that'll be the end of the episode, I guess. So Clargus likes us. I don't know why he's raiding my territory if he likes us. Jerk. I thought we were bros, man. We were in the same fraternity and everything. Tap a keg of brew. Come on, dude. What are you doing here? So since they're there, I'm going to put that right there. I'm not going to make it up that hill before we go anywhere else. We're going to be forced to the bottom. So, you know, if you've got to be a bottom, at least be an energetic bottom, I guess. I don't see any of his... we have one guy over there running away from the rapid arrow fire. Hopefully he doesn't have a ton of marksmen. He's a Swadian, though, I think, Clargus. Or Clargus may be a Rodok as well. No, he's a Swadian. Okay. So we may be up against some interesting foes here. He's got a couple of knights with him, or a couple of men-at-arms at least, who appear to... I'm trying to talk right now, Archer. You're not making the situation easier. I mean, you're definitely impeding my mental Will you get... You and your stupid helmet. Move! Make me upset. All I want is to be mobile. Why won't you let me have this? Please. That's the best way to ask for a promotion, by the way. Please promote me. I've tried it once or twice. I assumed it was because I didn't shower that morning that I didn't get the job, but it may have been my pitch. I don't know. It's kind of funny because there's a vocal pitch there too. Like, my vocal pitch is high, but then I also made a pitch for the job. It's funny because there's two meanings. It's double entendre. Let's stab this guy right here. Oh, never mind. They're just gonna charge me. And now I'm stuck in the middle of a bunch of guys who very desperately want me to die a horrible death. I want to hit that guy's horse because his horse is an asshole. I've never heard his horse say one nice thing about anybody. And so I'm gonna punish it right now by hitting it with a sword in the face. Or in the rump. Sometimes you gotta hit something in the rumpus. That's the most frequent spot where I end up striking my cat when he's being naughty. I mean, not like a full-on, it's a limp-wristed, like, go away, kitty, type hit. It's not like a piff. Because that's the sound it makes, you know, if you actually have to, like, punish a dog or a cat, it's like a piff. It's like a piff thing. I don't know. Give them a little swat when they're, like, begging at the table, like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, you gotta be firm. You gotta have that firmness in your voice, because I know people that talk to their dog and they'll be like, what are you doing, buddy? You're not supposed to be begging. And I feel like setting that vocal tone is probably a bad thing because the dog thinks it's a good thing. He starts wagging when he hears it. Obviously, you're positively reinforcing that beggary. You gotta be like, You gotta have the force of 1,000 lobos. Let's continue down the hill. The force of 1,000 lobos. That's a lot of force. It's not horsepower, though. It's lobo power, which is completely and totally distinct. It's in a class of its own. How are you going to be a veteran knight who gets knocked out by a skirmisher? He doesn't even use melee weapons, and he just beats you out, man. Oh my god. You at the campfire tonight. I'm going to make fun of you, sir. Remind me. I've got a rant about this. We lost 2 men, and one of them was a Serenid Guard. The other was a mercenary cavalry. That's fine, because mercenary cavalries are kind of expensive. Let's be out here. And there's only like 2 guys left. I don't even know what to say about this fight. I've said that pretty frequently in the last few episodes, but it's like, what do you even say when they put you in a fight? They should just auto-resolve the remaining 3. And I say that, but their auto-resolve is so terrible that I don't really mean it. Like, it's a be careful what you wish for moment. It looks like the only survivors were on horseback. It's a good thing we didn't auto-resolve it, because the AI has this weird tendency if there's 1 man-at-arms, or like 1 Huskarl, to be like, oh yeah, this 1 Huskarl kills like 400 of your men. And you're like, really? Like, yeah, he's upper tier, didn't you know? And you're like, but I'm upper tier. Well, you know what? The offensive force always wins, so whatever. Let's be on our way. He managed to escape, but we did capture some of his men-at-arms, so that's okay. Got a rusty mail surcoat. I did that with my friend's kid the other day. We were talking about, like, vocal tones. And, like, you know how when you talk to a dog, you're supposed to be like, when you're trying to discipline him, you're like, hey! You know, you've got to give them, like, that strict tone that sounds like they're being yipped at or something. And what's going on over here? Oh, that's right. So, I forgot about that. Sometimes people get grumpy that you send other people off to talk about how awesome you are. They get grumpy that you're out bragging. So anyways, as I was saying, I did that with my friend. It was kind of a reflex. Like, his kid was doing something, I don't know, he's like sticking a fork in a light socket, or, you know, he's just doing one of those little kid things, like licking an iron, or whatever the hell it is that little kids do on a regular basis that's just, like, dumb. Because, you know, little kids do dumb stuff. That's what they do. They're like little machines of dumbassery. And so, like, I was just like, hey, you know, like, just as a reflex. And he was like, did you just talk to my kid like a dog? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, well, you know, as long as I got the point across. Like, it's kind of a reflex. I don't know. I don't have a kid. I don't know how to do these things. I'm not practiced, I suppose. And I wasn't talking to him like I just being firm. You know, you gotta teach him. You gotta be like, hey, don't lick that, or, you know, don't stick a fork in that. There are certain objects that you don't stick a fork in. Light sockets, the dog's eye. There are just these certain things that you don't stick forks in, and little kids, they need to be taught. There's like a little boundary right there. They're just like, I should not stick forks into the squishy bits of any other thing, or anything that emits high amounts of electricity. That's a terrible idea. Now, I think I'm going to sell off the remainder of these prisoners, and this is where I'm going to break off the episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for another term with Mount & Blade Warband. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Take care out there, everybody. Bye-bye.